Hello maths fans, I'm here at the Google office in London with Dr. Garth Graham, who is the YouTube head of health. Here we have a standard chessboard, 8x8 black and white squares, hopefully is familiar. Your challenge, Dr. Garth, is can we cover the entire chessboard with dominoes?
Okay.
So a domino, just to really stress this for you, is going to cover, it's a rectangle, and it's going to cover 2 squares.
Okay.
Like so. So
Okay.
the first question is, given any possible number of dominoes,
Yep.
can you cover the whole chessboard?
With how many dominoes?
As many as you want.
Yes. Is the answer.
Yes?
And the real question is how?
Okay, yeah?
I would say that we need, so this is 8x8, correct?
Yep.
So I would say, so that means there's 64 squares,
Yes.
and each domino covers 2.
Yep.
So I would normally say 32,
Yep.
but I feel like there's a trick to this question somewhere. So
Okay, you're possibly overcomplicating the problem.
okay.
I can see why you've gone with that, right? I
Okay,
warned
okay.
you this was an Oxbridge level
yes,
university
right.
admissions
If you
interview
didn't
question.
say that, I would have just said 32, bam.
Okay.
We need to go. Yeah.
So that is part 1. It is just 32.
Okay. Well,
Right?
whew.
So well done,
All
right? Now for the fun part. Quite a few of you have sent in questions that you would like me to ask Dr. Garth. And the first one is, what is the head of health at YouTube? Like, without sounding mean, what is your job, Garth?
It's not mean. My mom asks me the same question all the time. So we know that people across the world start their health journeys on YouTube. So, they're looking for video or content that explains their health problem.
Yep.
And that's really important because that makes them think about the next thing that they do. So it's really important for us to have high quality health information because we know that we're such an important part of people's lives and their health journeys. So that's a big part of it.
So that was part 1. Now for part 2, same problem, but I'm going to remove this corner, and I'm going to remove this corner.
Okay.
So now we've got 62 squares remaining
Yep.
on the board.
Yep.
And I'd like to know,
With
is
that-
it possible now to cover it in a similar way? The dominoes can be horizontal or vertical. Can you do it now?
Now you've removed the 2 edges, so that makes it complicated. So the question is, can you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to try and draw a possible covering?
Yes. Oh, I can see why it would be. Yep. Okay, no problem. So it's 2x2, correct? So it'll be like, can I cover?
Of course.
Okay. So it'll be like here. Okay. Here. Okay, then I bridge out to here.
Yeah.
Let me just continue this here. So I'm always gonna hit something like this, unless I came out to here. Let's say with Can I revise my first answer?
You absolutely can
Okay,
revise your first answer.
Okay. I'll not be able to do this all the way because I'll always end up with 1 off.
Yep.
But I could always layer. That'll still leave me with an extra space. So I'm going to go with no.
Okay. That is correct.
The no.
The no is correct.
Got it. Okay.
Well done. Now,
Thank you.
the important question to the
Yeah.
mathematician is why is it no? The main question that people wanted to know, of course, was being in the UK,
Yeah.
was, there's a recent discussion around potential social media ban for under 16s in the UK.
Yeah.
So I guess, first of all, could you talk through some of the policies that,
Yep.
that YouTube have, your thoughts on that, just
Yep.
general your opinion on that discussion that's happening?
So, we're primarily a video platform. So people come to us to watch videos.
Yep.
And so there are a lot of things we do. So one is we have what we call age-appropriate experiences. And so that means we have a separate YouTube Kids app for little kids, and it has all this kind of build safety stuff in. We have a space for younger teens, and with all these protections built in, and gives parents control over that. And then we have an experience for teens, where we have, again, a number of other protections built in. And again, really the idea is to give kids a gradated experience on YouTube, but also make sure that it's safe and that we give parents control over the kinds of things that allow them to make sure that the experience they're having on YouTube for their kids is the experience that they would want for their kids. So there's a lot of stuff built into that on YouTube, and that's a lot of what my team works on.
And again, just to sort of expand on that, do you have like top tips? Or I know you have kids yourself. Are there any things you've learned through that process as a parent that you could share with the viewers about who are maybe wondering how to navigate this with their own children?
Yeah, I have 4 children, so for parents who are feeling that stress, I feel that stress with them. And so there are a couple of things. We know that this concept of how our kids interact in a digital space can create a lot of conflict at home. And so there are a couple of things that are important for parents to understand, and then understand the science behind it. So one is we encourage parents to both talk to their kids openly and watch content with their kids, understand what their kids are consuming. What does the data show? So the pediatric literature shows that when you co-view with kids, it creates joint attention, and also helps create critical viewing skills. So that's very important. Second thing is creating a media plan. So talking through with your kids about what you want them to do and what you don't want them to do. And what does the data show? If you build plans with the kids, they're more likely to stick with the plan and less conflict. And then the third part we say is once you build the rules, use the tools. So utilizing parental controls to help automate and kind of enforce the rules. What does the data show? There's a huge study that was done that showed that when parents use these tools, they feel more in control of what's happening in their home, and they feel more empowered as parents. So all of these concepts help to bring together the data into real-world settings and hopefully create less conflict at home.
The important question to the mathematician is why is it no?
Okay.
And I'll give you a little clue, which is if you think about all the dominoes you've drawn, and even if you had drawn one vertically, what squares do they cover? Regardless of where you place a domino, thinking about the properties of the chessboard.
They cover, they'll always leave a red uncovered. Does that make sense?
In the context of the removed corners, yes.
Okay.
But if you think about wherever you place a domino, has to be horizontal or vertical, it will always cover one white and one red square.
Agreed.
So if every domino is covering one red and one white, initially, how many red squares did we have for the full chessboard?
For the full chessboard, we had half of them being red.
Yes.
So then we had 31.
The initial one, it would be 32.
Oh, sorry, the initial one. Yeah, got it. Because it was 64.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had 32 red initially and 32 white.
That's right. Yeah.
Now I've removed these corners.
Yep.
How many red and how many white do we have?
Oh, I see. So now you've removed one. You removed one white.
Yeah.
2 whites.
Yeah.
So then now it went from 64 to, got it. So now it's odd. Yep. Okay. Let me try to verbalize what I just thought in my mind.
It's very appreciative of the nods to what does the science say, what does the studies say.
Yeah.
So another question that came through was any data or studies that relate, let's say, social media screen time with teens' mental health, etc. So like where are we at with the data on that?
So one of the important things that's kind of evolved over time is that it's really a lot to do with the quality of the screen time. And so if you're spending a lot of time watching math, and learning, then that's a lot more beneficial than, say, other activities that may not be as productive. And so what you see, particularly from the literature from psychologists, et cetera, is around this idea of intentional viewing, this idea of quality viewing, and really, again, digesting and learning math online helps to open up the world of math to the world of kids. And teens. And so the data really supports this idea of higher quality content consumption and ways that can improve kids' lives, both in learning, but also in their overall prefrontal cortex development as well. Okay, so we originally had 64. We removed 2 whites. So we went down to 62 squares overall.
How many of those are red and how many
Exactly.
are white?
But you kept the same number of reds.
Yes.
And so you still had 32. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You had 32 reds and then 30 white.
Perfect.
Yes.
So if we have 32 red,
That's right.
30 white,
Yeah.
every domino has to cover exactly one red and one white.
Yeah.
So once you've placed 30 dominoes,
Yep.
you've covered all of the white squares.
Yep.
And so all that's left are red squares, which you can't do.
Yes. Yep.
That's it. That's
Oh,
it.
I love
So
math.
it's called the Mutilated chessboard problem.
Oh.
And it's a classic Martin Gardner puzzle from in the 60s in the Scientific American magazine.
Oh, interesting. Well, thank you, Martin Gardner.
Yes.
That made me feel a little bit smarter than I did 10 minutes ago.
And a final question. So of course there is the separate YouTube Kids
Yep.
app
Yep.
within YouTube.
Yep.
So I had a lot of questions from viewers who were sort of saying in like a worst case scenario that, let's say, YouTube is banned in the UK for under 16s. Could something like a YouTube education or some kind of like categorization of videos similar to kids, maybe there's a teens, is that something that's being thought about, or is that like a longer process?
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of benefits to YouTube. There's educational benefits. There's kids and teens download and watch, consume a lot of music.
Yes.
There's podcasts. There's all these different kind
yeah.
of components. So there's all these ways that people can learn from experts like yourself and others, and all the different formats. So I think for us, we're always constantly evolving. We're always trying to change and meet the moment. But it's important to understand all these different ingredients that come into play that meet people's viewing needs, young people, older people, in so many different ways. So that's why part of the magic of YouTube. You have short form video, long form video. You have all these different experiences. And so it's important to kind of evolve that to meet the needs of communities, but it's also important to realize part of YouTube's magic sauce is the variety of experiences.
Yeah, I think that last question from my interactions with the viewers comes from like a fear that they will no longer be able to go to YouTube to learn as teenagers.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so hopefully it will figure itself out in some way or other, won't it?
And I think what's important is, and you just kind of touched on it, creators like yourself, your ability to create information that's free and accessible to so many folks across the UK, and empower teachers and students, that's important. So we want to work to protect those concepts, because the importance of learning and education is really the foundation for what builds a society. So thank you for what you do, but more importantly, we want to continue to have your work reach the masses and implement change as you've been doing over the years.
What a perfect way to end. Dr. Garth, thank you.